just connecting everything. It should be ready to go in a couple of minutes.
Well, while it's starting, let me introduce myself. My name is Vera Podova, and currently I'm leading specialist of Department of Recreation and Environmental Education, Priazov National Park, which is located in Priazov region, Zaporizhia region. And we start our work to getting samples.
Can you?
Getting samples.
Because we're starting.
I had all switched off. Look.
I guess now. Maybe.
There's a variable in the notebook.
Yes.
Maybe. Let's do so.
Yes.
That's what. There's.
Right.
Just a second.
That was the problem.
Then we can share here. Yes.
And we start our work in April 2022, and we start from Priazov National Park, and then we signed an agreement with our neighbors, Meotida National Park, which is located in Donetsk region, which at that time already were occupied, and with our neighbors National Park Великий Луг. So, and we're getting grant opportunities, financial support to getting this. Also now I'm finished my PhD in Zurich University and Institute of Technology of Switzerland. And we're starting, and next.
Should be working. Right now. Yes.
Oh, super. So here we work with water, Priazov National Park, Великий Луг, Meotida, and also we have signed an agreement with Chernobyl Radiation and Environmental Biosphere Reserve for a partnership in this. And also in the middle of the year, between 2022 and we finished it in April 2023. We also made take samples from the Podilsky Tovtre National Park, which are unfortunately get some bomb shelling, despite that they're in central in Ukraine, despite they're far away from the active military actions, but they still have that damages. Also, Bushsky Ghat National Park, Mezinsky, once again Chernobyl, and National Park Kamyanska Sich, which were very interesting to provide research there, because there are under that national park were provided active military actions, and the samples from that really shows up how really destroyed this situation can be. So the water supply, the object of the study is the ecological state of the surface sea water. So basically we get some water bodies which were affected by shelling, by bombing, by military allocations. So a huge amount of military were there. How we get this sample? So my colleagues, inspectors from the national parks, they help us with getting these samples and to transporting them to Zaporizhia first, then from Zaporizhia to Kyiv to provide research in certified laboratory, and some of the results also were transported to the Khmelnytsky, which were somehow moved for some time. And the purpose of the work is to evaluate the composition and quality of natural surface water samples. So basically it means how military actions influence it on quality of water bodies. So this is the map where the samples were taken. Of course, through the security issues, we weren't taking photos, because on the checkpoints they can take your phones and just look what photos you have inside. Yes, we made some GPS coordination, but we didn't show it through their security awareness. But I believe the samples were taken in this region, in the territory of national parks. So this is the results of their certified laboratory which we gained. So individual pollution index and total water pollution index will be presented. Mainly I will focus on the heavy metals, because through the identification heavy metals on natural resources and in natural resources on the territory of national park, we can assume how military actions are influenced on this territory. So basically, before the 2022, there's this sampling point, Schiffer or water sampling point in all. So yes, there was but they have the green color. There are very simple, very small amounts of this chemical things. But now it's cadmium, cobalt, plumbum, nickel. We can find out. So, and if we account the total index of water pollution for the relevant hazardous classes of substance, we will find out the map. You may see the comparison of the estimated total index of water pollution in different locations of the Sea of Azov, and sometimes it's higher than 10, even 18 points more than it should be. So, to providing more clear explanation, we will create modified index of polluting of coastal marine waters in Sea of Azov water area. Why we do that? Well, actually we can provide only numbers for science, but our aim is to explain in really simple language how actually it influenced, what kind of chemical things are present here. So there's unfortunately in these pointers we have extremely dirty mainly classification. If we provide comparison map of modified water pollution index in different locations of the Sea of Azov water, so here we need to mention that we took the methodology of ecological assessment for the quality of surface water by relevant categories. It's specialists from Ukraine created, so we should take it into account why, and we provide explanation why, because directly for this area it's more applicable. We can analysis of observation data on surface water bodies, characteristics of surface water quality from ecological point of view, and what's more important, it's to obtain information about the state of water bodies and represent it in a very easy way. And inform the public, to form message to inform the public. This is the main point. We goes down chemical pollution index, and here we have very sad colors. The red one. Of course, we can see the phosphates, but phosphates in this region are present even before the 2022 because of agriculture sector is near of this natural park, but another like copper, cadmium, plumbum, once again, it doesn't exist before the 2022. So, and we once again may assume that this is the influence of military actions on natural resources, on national park, Priazov National Park specifically. So, and this is a short summarize. Study cannot prove the cause, of course, and I explain why, because it's not monitoring, it's like we get a few samples. But we may see the significant negative impact, and what the suggestion is continuing monitoring. Of course, it can be through the security situation, it can be monitoring, but continue to work on getting samples to control somehow the situation, and to share this information, because we can share it on this very narrow group, like we today, professionals in our field. We also can publish scientific a paper and made awareness, because we need to remember that fisheries, that flora and fauna there, it's not only the question about Ukraine, it's also the question about other part of the Europe or continent, because they are under the protection, not only Ukrainian legislation, they are under protection and international legislation as well. So we will leave the water. Yes, this is the shortly, unfortunately, the conclusions of their unsatisfactory ecological conditions. Yes, we get samples from Chernobyl zone, but we didn't get there some information regarding the heavy metals from that point that we get. Of course, we get another information, but it's not relevant for this meeting. Yes, we get soil. I want to emphasize how important in this topic to sign assessment agreement, agreement of partnership with another national parks, with a national NGO, with another research institute, because well, the information are shared, and my colleagues from Podilsky, Tovtry, Burski Hart, Mezinsky, National Park Kamienska Sich. Kamienska Sich is another pre-topic. They want to know what's going on their territory as well, and we prepare their application, get additional financial support, and getting samples. So this is very important to represent in the right way your work through their international foundation to get support you. Like, and here's a Podilsky Tovtry. It's amount of territory, and it's, of course, each national park is unique. So please imagine this beauty of Podilsky Tovtry. And unfortunately, what kind of heavy metals, amount of heavy metals we find there? Like plumbum, it's like the highest level which can be identified, it's 6, and the certified laboratory identified at 30.52. Zinc, cuprum, magnesium, chrome, nickel, cadmium a little bit, but Manghezi 6,025 and Alofte 140. So we can even not comment it, but the numbers which we gained through the certified laboratory, they speak by themselves. This is like a speechless environmental diplomacy only by the data which we gained. The sample number 2, the situation in Podilsky Tofre doesn't change. National Park Buskgard, so we have like, see the form, unique form of this national park. We are happy that they have like plumbum in a right way, but zinc, cuprum and manganese, chrome, nickel, cobalt are higher. It's like 5, but it's 34. Like it's higher than it should be, it can be. Let's go then, Buskgard once again, the situation doesn't become better. We still have red color. And Mezinsky, another our partner, Mezinsky National Park. We're happy for them that you see only 3 red numbers. We have magnesium, cuprum and nickel, a little bit. Once again, Mezinsky and Chernobyl Radiation Ecological Biosphere Reserve. 2, a little bit. But once again, I want to point it out that we get, it's not the monitoring, it's point. Here we have like for imagine whole picture. We have explanation, the samples, 7 samples, and what kind of picture we have according to these samples, maximum possible, and what the real number we get through the certified laboratory, which are located in Ukraine, and we use. Yes, this is. But we are happy to announce that we don't have strontium and cesium. It's good. In the end of my presentation, I want to more go deeper to Kamienska-Sich National Park. And I mentioned in my presentation how important to build partnership with other national parks, with other national researcher, laboratory, and NGOs as well. So the getting samples in this national park, we may thank to Ukrainian NGO Environmental People Law. So their members help us to get samples in this national park, and then we sent it to certified laboratory, and our expert continued to analyze it. So we get 5 samples, and we getting 49 chemical things in each sample. But let's point it out on a very interesting one, which shows up the real influence of military actions on the soil in National Park Kamienska-Sich. And we can assume, according to this example, we can assume how deep in the damage can be in each national park. The sample 1, the norm of exceed by even slight exceeds on 75 permission norm can have negative consequence on ecological stability of territory and disturb the equilibrium state of natural environment. Which means we ask our expert to provide some modeling in a short and a long distance period. How can it influence it on quality of situation on flora and fauna in national park. And to reduce, and what we can done right now, and to reduce the phosphorus content in soil in the national park, it is necessary to constantly monitor changes. Of course, in Kamienska Sich, for now, we can provide consistently monitoring. And thanks to the inspectors, it will be safely. We can do that. We can apply to the purification method, and it's planting plants and which are actively absorb phosphorus for their vital activity. For example, for this type of trees, we provided the area of existence, not region. The samples too, so we have like sulfur here, barium, phosphorus, which are much more higher than it should be. And of course, it's a serious consequence for the ecosystem. They are toxic for many plants and animals which are located in Kamienska Sich. And the animals which are getting as a food these plants, they have influenced on air as well. So to increase the level of sulfur, barium and phosphorus in the soil can also lead to decrease in the diversity of plant species due to the negative impact of these elements on vegetative functions of plant organisms. And what steps can be done to reduce the content of heavy metals that have accumulated in the soil of the natural reserves? We recommend biomediation of soil by growing, for example, and for this area where we take the samples, we recommend direct type of healing, actually. Unfortunately, the picture doesn't change. It became even worse. So another samples, it's the same like the second one, but it's also interesting that this problem applied to animals and the inhabit soil with increased barium content. And it can lead to decrease in diversity of fauna and natural, which means the consequences will show up not even today and not even like in a few months after. But we can show the results of this situation in 1 year when we see how changed the migration, amount of inhabitants, and is there some losers. And the sample number 5 has exceeded the phosphorus content itself, maximum, totally maximum. And for the remediation of heavy metal containing territories of the national park, it's worth using phytoremediation and the settlement of microorganisms capable of reducing the concentration of phosphorus in the soil. This is one of the recommendations, which means firstly in some part of this national park need technically reduce some equipment which were destroyed, and after that to provide this rehab. And in the end, was very deep and research one national park which I represent. I can represent in a such deep way each national park with whom we are work. But the picture doesn't change, and the losers are done. And in some national park we may organize monitoring, in some not, through the security situation. But one thing that I understand is it's worth it to cooperate with another national parks with my colleagues, with NGO who support us in the field, and to get financial support from the foreign funds, because this is question other national parks which are in our neighbor countries, in Poland, in Hungary, and this question doesn't have border. So if you have any questions or suggestions, I'm happy to cooperate, and you can find me on this email to organize and to help venture. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Vera. It was really, really interesting, and a lot of territories were actually in this research. Yes, I agree that we have to cooperate, definitely, and better we cooperate, better results we have. And